Hello, fellow gardeners. Welcome to Urbanscape Bangalore. And in today's episode, we will be learning about this plant, and it is called Poinsettia or Poinsettia. You can call it either because, unlike human beings, these plants don't get offended. So, let's move on to learning about the conditions that these plants relish and the characteristics it espouses. So you might think that these bracts or these leaves are the flowers, but it is not. These are not the flowers. These are modified leaves, and the flowers are in between. So if you see this, these are the flowers, and since the flowers are a little nondescript and not very showy, the leaves come in and do the job of the flowers by attracting pollinators. So that is the most important function of a modified leaf. So this, to get these poinsettias to to color like this, it is a very big deal, and that is why these are very costly plants. In India, you get this for around 250 rupees, which is quite costly for a plant. So they sell this saying that it is an indoor plant. Yes, you can grow it indoors, but you need to take care of certain conditions, otherwise this plant will die. So this is not my first experience with poinsettia. I did not have a good experience with poinsettia. So I had purchased a poinsettia from a nursery in Wayanad, and it was a crimson red poinsettia, and it died because these are magnets for mealybugs, and that is one reason. And then there was no adequate watering, so I kind of neglected it and it died. So I hope I don't repeat the same with this plant, because the one that I got from Wayanad was a little cheaper and this was quite costly. So let us look at how to take care of poinsettias. So first and foremost, these colors come only during the winters when the day length is shorter. So it needs that darkness for its color, for these leaves to turn this color, because without adequate darkness during the winter months, this result will not be obtained. So you need to be careful about the amount of darkness this plant receives during the winter times. So from November to December, you will have to see to it that this plant gets maybe 3 hours of indirect sunlight, and then the rest of the day cover it with a black cloth or put it in a carton box and repeat the process again the next day. So this is a trick to make this plant bring out these beautiful colors, and that is why it is costly, because people uh, generally buy this and then the next year they don't see the color, they throw it off, because this plant is not attractive without this color. So you can try that. I will also try that this year and see if that really works. But the other thing that people generally have a misconception about is that these require full sun, but it is not true, because these don't require full sun. These plants are happy with partial sunlight. So please do not put it under full sun, but during the winters you can keep it under full sun if you find problems like mealybugs, or if you see the plant wilting and you've put a lot of water and you need that water to be evaporated during winter times, that is middle of November till December, you can keep it under full sun. Make sure that by now, and this is especially for people who live in Bangalore and in climates where you don't have harsh climates like harsh summers or winters. In Bangalore it's always moderate, like the winters are moderate, the summers are moderate. So In Bangalore, you can take this plant outside during December and show it to the full sun. It doesn't matter. But that is like a last resort. If you find a lot of mealybugs and it is dying, then that is like the last resort. But the best ideal condition for this plant is partial sunlight or dapple shade. Watering requirements, it does not like to be in a really wet soil, so please avoid clay matter in your soil and do not overwater it. Just see to it that it remains consistently moist but not soggy wet. So that is again a big reason for the attraction of mealybugs, because mealybugs love moist environments. So that attracts mealybugs as well as kills the roots of the plant. So please keep a watchful eye on these elements. And the other thing is fertilization. So you can fertilize it during the summer months. You can fertilize it. You should probably cut down on the fertilization during the winter months, so that it receives that much resting. It does not require too much of fertilization during the winter months. Pruning, you can prune it during the April month, June month. You can prune it, and you should prune it in such a way that you don't prune it very hard and make it almost bald, but prune it in such a way that you don't kill all the nodes, or you don't damage all the nodes. Because if you see the new plants actually grow from the nodes. So see here, so we have a new plant here, so it is coming out from a node. A node is a place from where leaves come. So you can see there is another plant. So if you want this to be a little bushy, so you can pinch. So here you can see they have actually pinched, the nursery guys have actually pinched the plant here, so that you're getting an even growth. So you can modify the shape and the look of this plant by pinching. So that is also a good technique in poinsettia care. Yeah, so propagation of this plant, I will show it to you in detail if when I think it is good to propagate this plant during the months of June and July. So the best way of propagating is through new shoots. So like once this flower stalk or this flowering stops, you can cut it off and then cut it just under a node and then immerse it into a soil that is well draining, and also you can use cinnamon powder or honey to avoid any fungal infection around that cutting. So these are few tips that I have for you guys. I think for every gardener, for every individual, their conditions are different. My conditions in my area will be different from yours. So it all is an experiment, but there are certain important things you have to keep in mind. That is watering, the soil, and sunlight. Sunlight is the most important aspect of a healthy poinsettia. So thank you for watching, and please keep subscribing to Urbanscape Bangalore.